got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of sun. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. It's running over with the dollar signs. Try to take it from me. Big time. I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of grind. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of shine. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try and take it from me, from me, from me, from me. Big time, number 9. Down in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of grind. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind.
Team up here in this situation, you would really want to see a good throw in and take your time on it. Throws it in to the middle, has it. Go! Go, 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 baby! What a throw in, a little this deep. Still, here's to Novak. Novak trying to drive it down. Still with possession, still has possession, has it crossed over, inside, goal! Goal! Novak is a genius, drives it all the way down. For there, having it deep. Oh. See, right there, I would like to see him just drive it more down, but they won possession, still has it. Novak still with it, Novak in! Oh, oh, oh. Yeah! Goal! Novak just doesn't give up on the play, stays with it, has it on his foot.
It's all thanks to our friends over at Thousands of Bolts.
Go.
Oh, here we go, baby!
Go, 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 go. Go, go, go.
Turn it on. Oh, they're fast.
Stay with it, Nick.
Come on, Nick.
Yes! Goal! No, 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 no! Bonino, 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 bonino!
And with 10 seconds left, Crestview, if you have plans on Saturday, you better cancel them, because we're going to Columbus! The Crestview Rebels are in the state championship for the first time in their history! Saturday, 1 p.m., be there or be square. Congratulations to the Crestview Rebels. 3 consecutive goals to win this one 4-2.
It was a lot more offense. We kept clearing through the middle where everyone was, so we wanted to clear more to the outside, which is what allowed us to get some more crosses and some shots. Defense was sound. We just had to tighten up a few things.
72 hours from now and Saturday, you gonna be able to sleep?
Probably not.
And this crowd just changed the momentum. Then we got that second goal, or third goal, and it was over. We just had all the momentum, and it was just We got one more on top of that. It was unbelievable.
What does it mean to have a crowd like this come all the way 3 hours away to support you?
Well, it's insane. It's a heck of a community. It's just, to have this crowd energy literally won us the game, I believe.
And welcome into a Thursday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. That's how you get a show started, boys. The Crusty Rebels on to Columbus to be in a almost a national championship, a state championship that they might be favored in, which is very interesting because the common opponent between these two was Ottawa Hills. So happy Veterans Day, I guess, to all of you out there, and thank you, veterans, for your service. It's the national day that is, and we, on this show, on this network, we celebrate all veterans, no matter if you paid the ultimate sacrifice or that if you're just serving the country because it's your gift to everybody else under the red, white, and blue. We thank you so much. So the question of the day for our national day, that is what does Veterans Day mean to you? Quinn.
It's tough to explain like what it means to me. I mean, my grandfather was in the Navy in World War II, so that's kind of just what I think of the whole time when it comes to Veterans Day for me.
All right, EB.
Yeah, to be put on the spot, honestly, I think Coach Hake probably said it best. You know, we probably do celebrate this day wrong. It shouldn't just be a day. It truly does need to be something that we need to be thankful and celebrate almost every day, because these are the ones who make the ultimate sacrifice, you know, for what we do right here, right now in YSN, for the opportunities that I have, you know, to coach and to, you know, just chase my dreams and my passion. It's ultimately because of those guys. And there's no words, there's no ways, there's no thank you big enough for them. It's just pure gratitude.
Rob?
The ultimate sacrifice. It's pretty plain and simple, because these men and women basically signed up without knowing whether or not they would survive it. And you know, even me coming out of high school, I was going to the Marines, and I was all gung ho, and basically in it for a year and a half, and ironically enough, was told I was mentally unfit for the Marines back in '96 because of my senior year, but whatever. But these guys and these girls, I mean, I can't thank them enough, because they realistically, I mean, I've had friends, and my one buddy's actually he was an Apache pilot, and hearing some of the stuff that these guys flew into, the guts, and without looking for the glory, you can't say anything bad about any serviceman, in my opinion. And it's just like everybody else says, we can't thank them enough.
Jeffrey?
They're the greatest human beings of all time, and they stand up to it. Like you all said, they make the ultimate sacrifice because they don't know me or you or anybody around the world that they serve this great country for, to make sure that we are free every single day and we can get up without having car bombings and all that stuff going on. And they're the greatest human beings. I saw a lot of them today when I was at work, and I shook every one of their hands and I said thank you, and they said, we don't need a thank you, we would do it tomorrow for you again. And that was that's what stuck with me all day today, was like, holy crap, that guy's 87 years old and telling me, he's like, I'll do it again tomorrow if you tell me to. So
that's awesome.
Thank you to all.
That is awesome. Veterans Day, you know, my family is littered with veterans and people that serve this country. My grandfather was a Marine. My uncle in the Air Force, which means my aunt was an Air Force spouse, obviously. And it's one of those things where, you know, like, it chokes me up a little bit, because these people, like you said, Rob, and kind of like what everybody said, they sign up and they don't know you and I for the most part. You know, it's they're willing to give their life in some circumstances for our freedoms, to do what we do and do what we want to do. And, you know, there's always the joke that, you know, if it weren't for our veterans, that we'd be speaking a different language. But in that joke, there's a lot of truth to that. You know, that we'd be speaking Japanese or German or something along those lines. But, you know, we have a very proud country, and we have a very diverse country with a lot of different, you know, ideals. And the reason we can have those different ideals and opinions is because of the great men and women that fight on our behalf. So thank you to every veteran, those that are still with us and those that are not. We appreciate you, and it's why YSN is always red, white, and blue. It's in tribute to you. So thank you very much. Rob, a would you rather? Would you please?
Sports edition off of Jeff Bezos' request. I can't even hear what he said. What did he say?
Which one would you guys want? Left foot or left eye, man? I don't know. This could be an average one.
Jeff, just because your birth certificate was an apology letter doesn't mean you can interrupt my would you rather, all right? Just calm down over there.
That's nice at all. That's true.
He doesn't.
All right. I was literally doing this in honor of Jeff, too. Keeping it sports related. All right, Jeff. Would you rather see... Here we go.
All right, I'm serious.
All right. So, would you rather see your heated rival win 5 Super Bowls in the next decade, or never be able to watch football again?
Oh. Well, I'm on.
Now, when I say watch football, what I mean is
switch it to. Can I switch it to baseball?
Jesus, Jeff. I mean, what am I going to do? Am I going to go over to your screen and smack you? No, I do whatever you want.
Would I rather watch the Boston Red Sox win 5 world championships and never watch baseball again?
All right, actually, that's a good idea. So if you want, you can switch to whatever sport you want. Would you rather see your heated rival win 5 championships in the next decade, or never watch that sport again?
Hey, Jeffy, I wore this just for you, buddy.
I never watch baseball again.
You don't watch baseball in the first place.
That's not true. I had MLB app all year, and I watch the Yankees every single time.
You get it on your phone.
Yeah,
that's it.
So I would not watch baseball ever again.
All right, what about football?
Bears stink.
Bears stink. So
not those Bears. Not those Bears.
See, the Lions. I would rather see the Packers win 5 Super Bowls in the next decade, and watch the Bears win a couple too. So that'd be cool. At least we're in the same division. Beat up on the Lions, so it's it is what it is.
I think I would to watch. I mean, who would it? The Browns, the Ravens. Does it matter?
I guess for you, realistically, I would say that even though the rivalry has been dead for a while, it's starting to come back. So I would say it's back to the Browns. Is that fair?
Okay. I would watch the. See, this sucks because do I ever get to see my team win it again?
Well, that's the thing. You can't ever watch football again. High school, college, anything.
Oh, no high school or college either?
With no football.
No football. That's it.
No football. Would you rather watch
I would have to. I would have to watch the team win because otherwise YSN goes kaput. We're done.
Might be an easy answer for you guys.
Oh, man, this is a good one for Billy because he would – I know. They want to watch football.
Paul's back.
Well, hey.
I don't know if I can watch Michigan win 5 in a decade, though. Jesus, that'd be tough.
Hey, Paul, do you want someone to show your IDs? Because are we allowed in here, Paul? You a bouncer right now? Paul looks like a bouncer that wears wear that black button-down T-shirt. It's here you go, Paul. Let me get my ID out. Let me get this out for you. I'm good, dog. I'm good.
It's purple. It's purple, by the way, Jeff. It looks black.
It does look black.
It was a long night over by the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this beautiful ocean.
Yeah, it's a lake, Jeff.
I know it was.
Heard Myrtle Beach is there, though.
It was beautiful. Myrtle Beach was amazing yesterday.
And then?
There's Stink.
Well, who's going to go here?
What are we doing?
Quinn.
Quinn, you're up.
I'm up.
No,
I would
just said your
not
name.
watch basketball ever again. If I had to watch Duke win 5 titles, I'm good.
Haven't you already done that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Not a decade.
Butler. I'm still pissed about that.
How is Duke Kentucky's rival? I thought it was Louisville.
There's not really.
I thought it was North Carolina.
Duke and UNC are rivals.
just a hated team. There's not really a rival that Kentucky has other than Louisville, and we beat their ass all the time, so I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
All right.
What is our?
All right.
I was
All
late
right.
to
All
it.
right. All right.
Well, it's would you rather watch your heated rival win 5 championships or 5 Super Bowls in a decade, or never get to watch football again?
And you're talking all football, like high school, college, pro, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd rather just see. I mean, Kansas City's already won 1, so that's okay. I'll go with that one. Yeah, let them win some Super Bowls. I don't care.
See, this is unique because, like, if you're going college and NFL, you can still beat your rival. It just means they win the championship. And look, if I can beat them, in the regular season, all right, whatever. Like, because in the NFL, it kind of happened. I'm a Cowboys fan, and in the early '90s and the late '80s, the NFC East pretty much won the Super Bowl. Like, what was it, like 7 or 8 years in a row? If it wasn't the Cowboys, it was the Giants or the Redskins or football team or whatever they are. So, I mean, I'll watch them win it as long as I can watch a sport.
I just want to watch the Pirates win a freaking World Series, like in my lifetime.
I just want the Pirates to win over 62 games.
How about you watch your mouth?
Don't start with this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to go hit David Hasselhoff?
Damn.
No fun zone. Hey, PNC Park, no fun zone, everybody. No. Don't have fun here, sir. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, there's a giant sign on the front of PNC Park that says no bags, and that includes douche. So they saw you, and they said, get out of here.
They could have done that. I would have gone to explore Pittsburgh a little bit. I drank a lot of ice cold pops, like Pepsis.
Icy lights?
Only mango. That's all I can take.
Hey, you had a chance the other night to partake in an icy light mango, and you said, no, I'm sleeping.
Yep. I was in bed.
And I got keto. Jeff's on keto diet, everyone. So
That is terrible.
What is keto? Isn't keto like no carbs or something?
It's like my friend has this powder drink that she sells, so I bought it off of her and I drink keto.
Jeff got caught in a pyramid scheme, is what he's saying.
Pretty much. He told me this is going to work, and I'm like, all right. It gives me a lot of energy, but I just don't eat it.
you had a lot of energy eating that fried chicken last night.
Oh. Friendship?
Friendship chicken.
Friendship's the best ships? Oh, man.
Wait, so somebody gave you a protein drink, and then you all of a sudden decided, you know what, I'm just going to start a keto diet too?
Yeah.
It's a keto drink.
Oh.
It literally says keto on it.
Jeff and I, can we, before we start talking about this soccer game, can we just tell you about the experience in Port Clinton last night? First off, nobody knows we're coming. Like, zero. We roll up there.
Are you guys with the team? No, man, we're streaming it. Oh, okay.
I'm wearing my Crestview football shirt, and the guy goes, you guys with the team? I said, no, we're streaming it. And he goes, okay. I said, where's a good place to eat around here? Where's the best place to eat around here?
Wendy's.
And he goes, well, you could go to the concession stand. They might have pizza, or you can go to Wendy's. And I'm like, it's never good when Wendy's is the best option at this point. With all the sponsors on the scoreboard, they have like this place called Friendship. They've got a couple of different pizza places, and I'm like, Wendy's, huh? Okay. So we go to first we try Wendy's, and it's drive-through only. And you guys know how I feel about drive-throughs. That's a hard no. So we go to this place that we passed, and it looked a lot bigger when we passed it the first time. It's called Friendship. It's a gas station, just a straight-up gas station with chicken. Yep. And it's like the chicken that you see like behind the glass. And Jeff walks up, and of course he got there first, and he goes to order spicy chicken. He goes, this spicy chicken looks really good. She reaches it, and the chicken has been there, guaranteed, since 6 in the morning. And it's already, 6 at night. So she takes out the spicy chicken. She goes, I'll give you a deal. Because Jeff ordered
there you go. That voice sounds like I'll give you a deal.
Jeff orders a 5-piece, and she goes, I got 6 here. So I'll just throw this one in for you.
Yeah. She's trying to get rid of that shit so fast.
Just like okay, I'll take
Go
it.
ahead. You want the honey? No, I don't want honey. I'm good, man. Thank you.
This sounds like a bad version of Joyride.
She scared me so much because she like walked by me and DJ and was like, "Can I help you guys?" I'm like, "Wait, what?"
She said it so soft, and Jeff looks at me dead ass serious. He goes, "We're gonna die. We're gonna die."
That's where it is, man. We're gonna die of friendships.
Well, like AV said, if it wasn't the chicken, it was going to be the trucker in the parking lot.
So
candy cane.
So we get in our box, we get chicken, JoJo's, and what was it, rolls.
Yeah.
And it is this big, like this big. So we take it back to the stadium. They don't give us any problems about going in. They're just like, okay, we're happy you're here. We go up, and the dude that asked us to go to Wendy's comes up and goes, "Where'd you end up going?" We're like, "We went to this place called Friendships." This dude has frequented this place for years of his life. Years, if not decades. And the cat turns around and goes, "I've never been there." I looked at Jeff, I think we're going to die. Like, one of us is either going to get explosive diarrhea on the way home from eating at a gas station, or we're going to die on the way home. That guy's been here. They have a sponsorship, and he's never eaten at Friendships Chicken.
And he goes,
maybe that's a clue.
And he goes,
really? Don't eat there.
"Is the chicken as good as they say it is?" And DJ's like, "Yeah, it's actually good." He goes, "Well, maybe I gotta try it one time." I was like,
Now that would have been funny to hear Jeff yell goal for like 3 minutes and that DJ have to cut the commercial because all of a sudden his ass just went boosh.
Goal.
Well, Jeff got the spicy, so I felt like I was safe with the traditional chicken, and he got the extra piece.
So was it actually good?
It was good.
It was actually good.
It was really good. It was very good chicken.
This lady behind the counter with a fly swatter, like hitting the.
Oh yeah, it was.
Deal, honey. Just.
It was Lunch Lady Land. Like, if you imagine Lunch Lady Land, like that was her, and she just whispers to Jeff, "Can I help you?" And I was like, "Oh man."
Hey lady, you're scaring us.
I was scared. I walked up. I was like, "Oh my god, I am actually scared right now."
And if you've ever seen Jeff check out anything in your life, like just check out at the counter, it is the most awkward situation because he just stands there with the stuff in his hands, like, "Here's my stuff," and she's trying to scan it, and he's oh my bad, kind of like that goal. He's like, oh. My bad. Oh, okay, go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead, tell everybody how you stole chicken from Friendships Chicken.
So the lady goes, "It's like 11. It's like 11:37." She's like, "Oh, I forgot to add this on your order," so she added DJs. And then I'm like,
he's got the chicken down in his left hand.
I was like, okay. I walk out and DJ goes, "What?"
Like, I looked down and I was like,
chicken today.
Math's not adding up. So we get a third of the way down the road. I was like, "Jeff, did you just take that chicken?" He's like, "She did not know. That's her bad." I was like, "Dude,
you didn't ask me, sir. Do you have one?" She just rung up DJ, started ringing up mine because I showed her. I was like, "Hey, I got one too."
He did.
I can't believe this gas station story hasn't ended with like somebody going to the bathroom and reading on the stall like, "For a good time, be here November 10th, 2021 at 5 o'clock." And then somebody busting in the door. "You got chicken?" That's not spicy, is it?
Friendships. So that was
that spicy chicken for you.
But in all seriousness, and I think Crestview would back us up on this, that place was not anywhere special. Like, we were hearing the entire day how nice this place was going to be. It's a mecca of soccer, and I don't think it was that.
Not going to be next to Lake Erie. Yeah, like, good place to go hang out.
The houses were nice. I mean, comparatively speaking, they can hold it at Salem and have the same atmosphere. You know, it wasn't big stands. They had turf fields that they were really, really proud of. Like you weren't allowed to take anything but water onto the turf. And it was like, all right, back it down. They had 4 announcements about not taking anything but water onto the turf. So
no re-entry fee either. If you leave, you can't come back in. Okay.
Amo says, "I'll broadcast soccer and volleyball for YSN."
I will say this though. I was watching that game last night for a little bit. And I was severely impressed with Jeff's play calling and DJ. You guys sounded pretty good in that bit.
I caught some flack. Apparently, I didn't see it at the time, but I was going through the comments at the end. They didn't like my videoing.
They didn't camera work.
One guy's like, listen,
I gave out my
guys aren't
personal
really
email.
soccer announcers, so let's not beat them up too bad. The refs aren't as bad as they said. It's okay. And
they were. They were bad.
They were bad. He just made a lot of calls that he didn't make on Crestview side and made it on Ottawa side. And that hurt Crestview in the first half, I think, a lot.
I think he was actually offended you were calling him Ottawa for the entire first half of the game.
Not a YSN sponsor. Maybe next year.
Jeff, did you see what that one dude said about your mustache? I'm being serious. I'm asking seriously.
I didn't read the comments.
That one said something like, your mustache. Jeff Bezos' mustache stole Chuck Norris's lunch money.
That never happened. Would never.
It never happened.
I'd never steal Chuck Norris.
That's like a compliment. What are you talking about?
He wants to make sure that anybody that's taking police notes in the police blotter knows that Jeff Bezos is nowhere near Chuck Norris.
No, I'm not Chuck Norris. I wish.
Not Jeff. Jeff Bezos' mustache. There's a difference. His mustache stole Chuck Norris's lunch money.
When you talk, do you always just tilt your head sideways and talk at the same time and just go like this the whole entire time and just be like, how far can we get this today? You watch football, do you just watch it from like this angle? Is this a thing? Do you just always lean like that? Is that a struggle?
I can't make my face straight. I have to just kneel to it because it just doesn't look right to me at all.
Straight.
Okay, see, here's the thing though. If I make my face straight, all right, so if I go straight like this, looking at you, Jeff, your facial hair looks like it has its own profile pic on Tinder. I don't want that. I want to go like this and steer away and go like her and steer a little bit and lean a little bit. I don't want my face right in front of the camera. Seriously, I'm looking at you. Your face goes north or east and west, and barely north and south. I can't do that. I'll be back here, bro.
Jeff, does your facial hair have its own Tinder?
That'd be sweet. The facial hair of Jeff Bezos.
We also discussed on the ride up that Jeff is keeping the facial hair, just straight up keeping the facial hair.
Yeah, it's not leaving.
Just so the mustache is.
In all seriousness, I think you definitely should keep the facial hair.
You need shave this part off, Jeff, right here, so that the mustache comes down and goes like that way. Save all this right here. So it looks like too big.
See if Paul has a coupon for that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of.
I can get you to sports clips. They'll take care of you, man.
No way.
They'll shave it, cut it down. Go.
So let's talk about. I mean, with Crestview doing what they've never done before, going to the state championship game. How important? And here's. I don't want to get into a fight over this, but I seriously want you to think about where is the importance of soccer in our valley? Because I think that it's overtaken a few things. After last night, seeing how many people tuned in, seeing how many people were there, how many people supported the Rebels. We had over 200 shares, or 100 shares, I should say, 200 likes on just our graphic of the final score. That showed me something, boys. Soccer is alive and well here in the Mahoning Valley, and I want to know, where do you rank it on the scale of sports at schools? So what's your top 5, and is soccer in there? I guess is a better question. Quinn?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, soccer in our area is good. We have a lot of good soccer teams. As a whole, I mean, it's going to be behind football and basketball and baseball just because those are the more common sports. But I mean, I would say it's right there with some of those sports. I mean,
so rank your top 5.
Top 5 would be football, then probably boys basketball, then probably baseball, and then I would say soccer's right there, right after it. Honestly, just with the amount of talent in our area and stuff like that. And I mean, it's not slighting any of the other ones.
Interesting.
Our area represents itself really well when it comes to soccer.
Mine's very similar to yours. I'll go second just to kind of ease some of the pressure. Football is going to be number 1. People, crave football here. I think, and people can call me crazy, I think girls basketball is the number 2 at this point with some of the teams that we've been putting through and state champions or state runners up or however you want to put it. I would say football, girls basketball, boys basketball, soccer, and softball. I think girls, I really do, and I'll argue this. I think girls sports is taking over, boys. I really do, and I'm okay with that because there's some good girls sports going on here in the Valley. EB, what do you think?
I'm actually not too far off from you. Football is one. It'll probably always be one. I agree. Number 2, girls basketball, especially in the past, I'd say the past 5 years, it's really started to trend up with, teams that we've had represent in the regionals, districts, and state. Then I'm going to go, I kind of toss back and forth. Right now, I'm going to have to say soccer's number 3. Like, just you now have Crestview in a state title. 2 years ago, you had Howland. Canfield girls soccer is always a staple. You see what West Branch girls soccer, Salem girls soccer, South Range, boys and girls, Poland. You can just, the list goes on. And then, I'm going to go boys basketball at number 4. And number 5, I was kind of torn between volleyball and actually softball as well. So that's kind of a toss-up. I just think we represent ourselves very well volleyball-wise. Much of the same, that might be a 5A and a 5B. I can't. You're splitting hairs for me in that one. And if you really think about it too, a lot of these soccer programs are still in their infancy. I think what Crestview soccer really started less than a decade ago at the high school level, that is. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where you're seeing the success is you always had these youth programs where you had CASA, you had, these little league soccer programs, but none of these high schools had anything. So it started as a club team, in the early 2000s, maybe, that 2000 to 2010. And it's really just, it's grown from there.
Paul, what do you think?
Me being me, I think my question would be, are you going by popularity as in attendance, who comes to the most games, or which programs have had success going towards playing for championships? I mean,
I think it's whatever popularity of the sport here in the Valley. So I'm not necessarily, taking tickets, but you see that sport growing in this area and you can't deny it. I mean, Sigler had a great comment that said that soccer is cutting baseball and football numbers down. And that's when you add sports, that's what happens most of the time. So from a popularity standpoint, is soccer moving up the depth chart kind of on the top 5 for schools in this area?
Would trends be a better word? Is how it's trending?
Trending would be a great word.
Yeah. And I would say right now, in high school sports, I think it's probably, I'd agree it's 4. Obviously, football is going to be number 1, and anybody who argues that is just silly. And I think basketball would be number 2. And I'm lumping boys and girls basketball. I'm not splitting the sports up like that. So I think basketball would be number 2. Then your spring sports, I think, would be 3, and then soccer would be 4. Because you still are looking at it's still young with a lot of these schools, even though some of these schools have made runs towards the state. EB ran the gauntlet of teams that have had chances to go to state and been there before. But it's still one of those sports that if you're not a fan of or don't have a player there, you don't see a lot of fans there. I was at every single home game this year for South Range Soccer, boys and girls. And if it wasn't apparent in the stands, there wasn't somebody going, hey, there's a soccer game tonight, let's go to it. Whereas football, listen, you don't have to have a kid on the field. Hey, football team's playing, we're going to go. Basketball, you see that the same. Basketball, you'll see, hey, Tuesday, Friday night, Monday, Thursday night, hey, there's a game. All right, let's go to the game. And you'll see more people there that don't have a vested interest in a kid on the court. Spring sports, I think, depending on where it is the same thing. Like, hey, there's a game going on. All right, let's go down to Scene Park, or let's go, pick up a high school game. Soccer's getting there, though. I mean, I firmly believe soccer is getting there because, I mean, it's big. You can catch it on all the networks that are out there. You go tune in to any, professional outlet out there. It's on, and kids can watch it. And listen, I mean, look, Jeff just went to Columbus and watched our national team. It was Columbus, right, Jeff?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and watched our national team.
Greatest team of all time.
So it's definitely getting there, and it's getting more popular here in America for sure. We've got all the pro teams, the different pro teams that are out there, Columbus Crew and all them. So, I mean, it is actually making its way up there. Will it overtake? I know it's pulling kids away from football, but I think the thing is I think it's pulling kids away from football that maybe would be those on the fence kind of kids. Like, do I want to go there? And maybe like, I'm not that good, but I'm going to go play because it's the only thing I have to do. Or, hey, I can go play soccer, and you're going to get in and you're going to run around and you're going to be crazy. And so I think that's where it's going to get those kids that are borderline kids. Your diehard kids for football are still going to be diehard football kids. So,
see, I think there's more, and I don't think you're trying to slate anybody, so don't take it this way, but I think there's a lot of athleticism in soccer, especially like that 100%. I saw last night.
A lot of running.
Yeah, and I would argue that football coaches would love to have some of these soccer athletes come out and be wideouts or kickers or halfbacks, because the energy that they have, you know what I mean, and the stamina that they possess. Jeff and I looked at each other on the way out last night, and I was like, what were you arguing about? You were the extra time.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's the only bad thing about high school soccer is there's no extra time. There's extra time in college, and if you don't know what extra time is, after a goal is scored, how long that team celebrates or how often a person gets hurt is on the ground, and the ref stops the game. Usually there's an official there to be like, there is 3 minutes of extra time, and then there's 5 minutes of extra time. It's 5 minutes about.
But if that's the case, Jeff, the clock stops after the goal, so that's why there's no extra time in soccer.
Okay, see, in pro soccer and college soccer, it keeps going. It runs the whole entire time, and then you have an official make the decision.
But the point is,
unless you're up by 6 goals, it never stops.
Yeah, the point is, I think that there's a lot of football. I mean, especially these smaller schools. You look at East Palestine and Sebring and Mineral Ridge, and like you're telling me that they couldn't use an extra 5 guys, or five kids that play soccer that maybe don't want to play football anymore. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. More options are always better for kids, I think. But in the land of specialization, which is the world we live in now, parents say, well, you can do this one or that one because you still have to do X, Y, Z here. And I mean, there's more options for kids now, and they only have 24 hours in the day like we do. So I think that from that standpoint, Paul, I agree and disagree at the same time, which I know I hate riding the fence, but like I guarantee you, if Tony's out there and if East Palestine had a soccer team, he would be trying to get them to play dual sports. What are you doing on a Friday night?
And it's happened. I mean, look at South Range last year. Mm-hmm. Harley was the kicker. She was the girls' soccer player, and they brought her out. And when she had the time, she came and she kicked extra points and field goals. So I mean, it happens. Brandon Youngs was another.
Well, there's a reason why you can see a kicker transition from soccer to football. You're not going to see a transition of a soccer player go play halfback. I don't think I've never heard of that.
Or left tackle.
Yeah. Or left tackle. Yeah. But like you're saying, they're athletes though. I mean, you got to be athletic as hell to run that long. Oh my God.
I think maybe you don't see soccer players become the left tackler, but some of those soccer players, I bet you Cusick would like to have them as wideouts. I mean, they're tall. They're
there was 2 kids that were 6'3", 6'4" last night. You telling me you don't want that kid to be like a wide receiver for Crestview? Yeah, I would love to see that.
I'm curious to how the numbers would actually. It'd probably help both sports if you would have soccer move to spring, like.
Oh, but it would kill baseball.
But it's 6 one way, half a dozen another. It's just one of those things. But if you had soccer move to spring, and we'll eliminate baseball and those other spring sports, just for the sake of keeping it simple, because it obviously would kill a sport one way or another. But how many of those soccer players or football players, vice versa, would play both if they were in different times? And looking at some of those Crestview kids, are really in general, like you said, they're just immaculate athletes. How much that would help one sport or the next.
I agree wholeheartedly, but numbers are already low for spring sports as it is. And
Right.
I think that if you add another spring sport, no matter what it is, soccer. I mean, remember the way they were talking about football going into the spring?
Yeah.
Good night, baseball. Good night. Like, you're done.
We were talking about moving baseball to the fall. Though,
Baseball
too.
to the fall. That's what. Yeah.
Baseball to the fall and football to the spring.
Good night. Baseball's done around here. If that's the.
Well,
if
like
that's
you
the
were
case.
saying, if you're ranking these sports, like if you go by high school, I mean, automatically football is going to be number one. I think in just about every high school, just about
Here, yeah.
At least around here. But when you start talking about baseball, women's volleyball, women's softball, women's basketball, boys baseball, things like that. Think about this, and also, like around here, I mean, wrestling is not as big as it used to be when I was in school. But then when you go to a school, let's say you cross the state line and go over to Reynolds, it's huge. It's like it's like a religion over there. So I think a lot of that has to do with also. It depends on what program we're actually talking about, and how good those programs are for whatever sport. So I think it's kind of hard to rank the sports like that in a general sense. I think it just depends on who we're talking about.
So let me ask this question. Do you feel like the success of a sport, let's say Crestview, Paul, you'd be a perfect example for this because you saw this happen, and I've seen it more than once. If a team wins a state title in a particular sport, do you see the boom in that sport, in that district, in that city, in that community from the bottom up? Let's say the 8U all the way up. Because if that's the case, Crestview could have a literal boom of soccer players for the next 2 or 3 generations to come if they bring home a state title. South Range is doing it, has done it in baseball, and look what's happened. You've seen a boom of little Raiders start coming out on the diamond once again. Baseball continues to be a go-to and a staple at South Range.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, everybody's gonna football. Obviously, like I said, football's one. Everybody wants to play football. You play it from when you're a little peewee all the way up, and you go there. That's Friday Night Lights. Everybody's focused on that. But yeah, when you see a team go play for a title or go win a title, I mean, our boys soccer team went there a couple of years ago, and they were state runner-ups. And, they've been a good soccer team ever since. The kids go out and they play. Our girls softball team has played for 2 state titles. They still just keep pumping them out. We obviously played and won a state title as well. And we're seeing that like right now, like coming into this year right now. We're probably going to be close to 38, maybe 40 kids trying to come out for our baseball team this year.
And that has a lot to do with the state championship you won 4 years ago.
Yeah, so you've got kids who've seen that at a lower level, and now they're going to keep coming up. Amo talking about Howland. Howland won a state title, a year ago. So, I mean, and they've always had a great program there. And so you definitely see that in no matter what sport it is. And, Rob talked about wrestling. You figure Canfield, Austintown, Boardman, like they are like
Beaver Local,
synonymous with wrestling there.
Beaver Local, sure.
Yeah, so yeah, Beaver Local and those schools pump out wrestlers that are going to the state championship all the time. So that's just one of those things. When those programs do well, kids want to be a part of it. And even if they're, from the bottom up, they're like, hey, I want to go do that one day. I want to be a part of that. Maybe I can go win one of those too.
And this is one of the second times I've heard this. Crestview Soccer for Kids is already big. Mm-hmm. Zach Garwood Field, and I don't know if you guys know much about it. The young man had the field dedicated to him after he passed away. The community came out and built that field for him. Greg Burbick, who's a good friend of mine and a great friend of the show and YSN, was part of that crew that built that field. And when Crestview took that picture, it probably didn't mean a whole lot. I shouldn't say it. They didn't think much about it to do it because it's embedded in who they are as a program. But for me to see that as just a bystander, I loved it. I love that it means something to them. And you're right, Crestview, it's a good foundational product that these kids believed. I talked to Nick Novak, who scored a hat trick last night, Jeff, and he said that we were the 6th seed and we believe in ourselves. And there's a lot of sports talk that goes into that, but at the same time, I think these are kids that have played on one field on the same team or opposite teams of each other for the last 12 years, and they said, "Hey, why not us? Why not? Why can't we do this? We're as good as anybody else." And now they're one game away from hoisting that state trophy. So talk to me, Rob, about the effect of a state championship in a community.
I honestly don't know much about soccer, hardly at all. I know that it was a lot of fun last night. And regardless if you know a lot about a sport or not, here I would be a perfect example. So I started watching the game last night. I don't know nothing about soccer. I don't know the rules. I know that the game exists and that this one dude I was hanging out with a couple weeks ago looked like Lionel Messi. That's all I know about soccer. Listening to you and Jeff made it a lot of fun. And then you're watching a local team. So regardless of whether or not you like the sport or you know the sport, doesn't matter. If you like sports in general, you're watching a local team get ready to punch its ticket to a state championship game. So you automatically become a super fan. And I don't care who it is. And I can't speak for everybody. I just know how I am. And if I'm close to the school or if the school is close to me in general, I don't care what sport they're playing. As soon as they're making it to that state game, it is a huge deal. Everybody's tuned in, and everybody, for the most part, I'll say the majority at least, want to see that team succeed. And that is also going to trickle down not only in that community, but, if you're saying soccer's big in Crestview, is it going to get bigger in Columbiana? Is it going to get bigger over here? Is it going to get bigger over there? So I think regardless of the school or whatever, I think that trickle-down effect happens in general, I would say regional more than anything, because now all of a sudden these kids are possibly seeing this and get excited about playing. So I think it's great for everybody.
EB, are there economics to after you win a state title to the program and the funding of the program and the the people that join out of nowhere to be part of the program?
Well, absolutely. When you win a state title, or you're competing for state titles, whether it's year after year or you make it, once every, and you're in that mix, it's really a trickle down, because you start to see these younger kids, they see that, and then they see these people are from my school, this can be me, and they start to get a little bit of that hunger, and they look up to them. Last year, probably the coolest thing for me, probably Quinn as well, going down and watching McDonald and the Howards who were so close to it. And it was always a conversation with Molly. And I think she realizes this, like she was once that little girl who she got to see many good players, go to district or win league titles and always compete. And she was the next one to inspire, probably that 3rd or 4th grader. And I talked about that with, Kyla Jamison, to where you become like local heroes. And now you see, when you win something like that, you're so impressionable as a young kid that you want to start to do that because you want to be like that person. And then, just from an economic standpoint, if you're traveling to, Columbus or Port Clinton or Myrtle Beach, California or wherever it is, like, businesses get behind that because it really starts to build a community. I remember last year, Salem, when we were going up to Perry, like, we had girls going into Duncan, and just some of these older generation were like, hey, the community's behind you. We're so proud of you. You guys are putting things back on the map. It just builds from top down, because that older generation is generally the tradition, and it's not always relighting the fire. You just want to stoke it. You want to keep it going, and that's what it's starting to do. And that's really how you build something, and it just really grows from there.
Jeff, what would it mean to win a state title if you're Crestview?
Well, the world, because that's what you're there for, right? The soccer team is really, really good, and it's just, like, I think it affects other sports. I really do. That soccer wins, like you'd say Crestview wins a state championship in soccer, that maybe, you know, the baseball program is like, all right, we won one, let's go do it again. And I think it has an effect like that, but this Crestview team is really, really good.
Apparently, we have some breaking news. OBJ going to the Rams.
All right, back to relevant things. Cressy's going to state title.
Yeah, that couldn't be so more irrelevant right now. You know, screw him. Good riddance.
How about Cam going back to the Panthers?
Oh, I just seen that a little bit ago. I don't know how that's going to work out, man. Does that dude? Can he still play quarterback? You think? I don't think so.
He still can't dress. I know that.
What are you talking about? You're not a fan of those Hunger Game outfits?
That is perfect. Hunger Game outfits. I never thought about that.
That's the first thing I think of whenever I see that dude at a press conference.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, from a state champion, and Paul, how much did South Range baseball change after you guys won the state championship? Give some insight here.
Well, I mean, the bad thing was it was good and bad. Obviously, it was obviously very good to win a state title. I mean, the pride that those kids have. You know, the first team state championship the school ever had, and you know, you put your name in the history books. I mean, that's it. The bad part of it is a lot of those guys were young. I think we only had 3 seniors on that team. So now all of a sudden they're like, well, we're going to go here every year now. Like, they're just going to start stacking up because look at the younger guys that we've got here. And, you know, and the next year we come out and we lose a tough game to a Canton Central team. And then you lose an entire season to COVID, which, you know, sucked. And then you have last season, which was the guys who were freshmen on that team. It was their senior year last year. And you come out there and then you have a guy like, you know, Jake getting hurt. And so you have one of your key pieces not there and you make a run, you get to the regionals and, you know, you fall short. So, you know, the added pressure gets put on that program, especially if it's a younger team that like, well, you should be doing this all the time now. And listen, it's not easy. I mean, the teams that win state titles back to back, or they win multiple ones in multiple years, like, there's a reason they do that. I mean, and it's tough. It's really tough to do. And like, there's a special group of kids and coaches that can make that stuff happen. And then, you know, we haven't seen something like that around here with the exception probably of champion girls softball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, those girls had a chance. If it wasn't for that COVID year, those girls had a chance to win that senior class, could have won 4 straight state titles, which would have just been incredible. But I think that program right there is the program you look at and go, they've done something like that consistently. Like, what has she got? What do they have over there in the water that they can just keep returning back to that place year in, year out? And all you're doing is just sliding some pieces, and that pressure maybe isn't there. Maybe they don't feel the pressure. Like, they just say, we're just playing.
To close up this conversation on soccer and Crestview soccer, congratulations to the Rebels. We're all behind you here.
Congratulations.
Unfortunately, we've been asked about 30 times, and it's not that I'm annoyed. It's I'm frustrated because we want to be there. But we cannot be there because the OHSAA does not permit us to live stream the state championship game unless it is audio only. And I'm sorry, folks, I'm not going to bother you with audio only soccer. That's just not. It's not a good product.
What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? I can listen to Jeff do that game for an hour and a half.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
How to do audio soccer? I have not seen audio soccer by watching soccer.
You won't see audio soccer. It's not possible to see audio soccer.
Well, you hear audio.
What? Yeah.
Eat my butt, Paul.
So, unfortunately, we will not be at the game. Our partners, Channel 21 WFMJ, will have all the highlights for you. And I believe the OHSAA, through their deal with Spectrum, will have a pay-per-view opportunity of some sort that they'll be rolling out. So you can get all the information on ohsaa.org for the championship game Saturday at 1 o'clock down in Columbus. So best of luck to the Rebels. We followed you as far as we could, and unfortunately, that's where and somebody said, well, why don't you just do the delayed game? Well, the delayed game is $500, and you don't get to air it until 10 o'clock that night when everybody knows the outcome anyway. You've already seen the highlights. You've already seen, somebody could go to. I'm just going to put this out there. If somebody goes down to Columbus, put it on Facebook Live. Maybe we'll share it. Because we have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
We can share it. We just can't stream it live. So if you want to put it on, charge up your phone, go down. If you want to, I don't know. I'm not in charge of the social media. I'm not going to tell you who's in charge of social media. And if you stream it live on Facebook, apparently the state doesn't care. They just want our money. So
Facebook will come after you if you're trying to, do a live feed for a pay-per-view fight, but state championship high school event, don't worry about that.
The Black Knight of Facebook speaks. That is going to lead us to our Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? Presented by our friends over at Joe Dickey Electric. Visit them on the web at dickeyelectric.com. Quincy, what do you got for us today?
Just a positive spark. Buddy of mine, Travis, it's his birthday, so happy birthday to you. I'm sure I'll hear all about this later. So happy birthday, buddy.
There it is. The birthday shutout. EB.
Positive spark. We are, after today, a week away from tip-off for girls basketball. We get to open up with good old the South Range Raiders, and I can't wait to see what suits Jeff Fischel wears this year.
Rob.
I think I'm just going to start doing making this part of the show my PSAs, what you can and cannot say to Facebook to get in trouble. I got flagged twice today.
Already?
And, some guy he came in hot, but he ended up leaving the group. So I tried to tell him like, hey, I'm at a 10, you're at a 4.5. We're not even close. So I'm here to just let everybody know that when you're on Facebook and you're going back and forth with somebody, if you call them a rhino, it's grounds for harassment and bullying, and you can get in trouble. So just heads up.
Paul?
Oh man, it's not even like a negative or a positive spark. Just hey, listen, when you have family and friends, just keep in touch with them. You never know what's going to happen from day to day. So just always reach out, say hi to somebody, talk to them a little bit, give everybody a hug a little tighter every now and then, and tell me love them if you love them.
I zoned out. Rob got in trouble on Facebook again. It's not a surprise. It's the same thing over and over. Rob, pick a new one every day, bud. No, it's just the weather. The weather, it's absolutely beautiful.
What? Whoa.
Wait.
Whoa.
Wait.
All
And
right,
doing
go
the
ahead.
game last night, going down. Or is it down or sideways? I don't know.
Up. It's up.
North.
Up to Toledo. Yeah, Toledo is in the middle of absolutely, positively nowhere. So thank you so much, Toledo, for that. Friendship Chicken, thank you for the early morning nitro call this morning before I went to work. And congratulations to Crestview and good luck in the state championship game.
So that was a four piece from Jeff from Friendship Chicken, because it started off with the weather. The weather. No, it started with Rob, and then it went to the weather, which is Jeff's go-to all the time of how nice it is. And then it went to his bowel movements, and then it finished up with Crestview. So nicely done.
For a good time here, November 10th at 5:00.
Mine is going to be just it's tough, right? Because we don't do soccer probably as much as we should, and it's not a sport that I'm real familiar with. I'm just going to be dead honest with you. But it was fun last night because Jeff volunteered and said, hey, I want to go with you. I don't want this guy driving 3 hours by himself, doing a game, and then 3 hours back. You can call it Friendship Chicken, Jeff, but I'm just going to call it friendship. And I appreciate you going out of your way and spending the better part of the day with me, and leaving your keys in my car whenever I was trying to go home and go to sleep, and I had to come all the way back and give you your keys. But I appreciate that. That is a true teammate right there. So I appreciate you and your sacrifice for going. And we had a good time. It's not like we thought we were going to have a bad time, but I think we all know that if Crestview would have lost, that would have been it feels like a 3-hour drive. It is a 3-hour drive, but it ends up being like a 10-hour drive because it's just so depressing. But it felt like 15 minutes, man. It was fun. Fun talking the whole way back. That is a wrap on the YSN Power Hour for Thursday. You know what tomorrow is, boys?
Pick 'em Friday.
Pick 'em Friday. That's it. So make sure you join us, get all your picks, and get yourself set for a weekend of Power Play Pass on YSN. $9.99 gets you all the games on Friday. $9.99 gets you all the games on Saturday. And, of course, we'll keep you up to date on Crestview and how they're doing Saturday at 1 o'clock. On behalf of all these gentlemen, we say thank you, veterans. We say thank you to you out there watching. And we say thank you for always supporting your sports network. That's going to do it. We'll see you tomorrow, 3 to 4, right here on the network. Bye-bye.